It's FA Cup quarter-final day. We've already knocked out the holders in the last episode, so it should be just sort of free run through to winning it and getting into Europe now, surely. Hello and welcome to part 7 of my Football Manager 17 Beta Save with Everton. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we are at home in the FA Cup quarter-final against Arsenal, and then we're away against Charlton in the Championship and could go top of the league with 9 games still to go. I mean, we're in remarkably good form, and hopefully it's going to continue. Since you were last with me, we had, I think, the Man United in the QPR games. We've only played 3 games since then, but we've scored 13 goals, only conceded 2. We've been smashing teams left, right and centre, and we haven't lost for an awfully long time now, ever since we switched back to, I mean, that was the game against Blackburn. That was the first time we played the 4-3-1-2 formation, and since then we've not lost a game. We've only drawn 3 times. We've beaten Man United, and now we have to play Arsenal. It's going to be our toughest test yet. If we have a look at the history of the FA Cup over the last 4 years, Man United, the team we've just knocked out, have won it in the last 2 seasons. The 2 seasons before that, it was Arsenal. If we have a look at the Premier League table, Man United are top of the league. Arsenal are right there. Well, they're not really snapping at their heels. They're quite considerably behind. So in theory, Arsenal aren't as good as Man United, and because of the computer problems in the last video that you all know about, we've beaten Man United twice. Obviously, as far as the game world is concerned, we only beat them once. But we played that game twice because after the version you saw, the whole thing crashed and I had to do it again. And we beat them again. It wasn't a fluke. We were a better team than Manchester United, and they are the best team in the country. So, you know, we should be able to beat us. So all this build-up, obviously, they're now going to beat us, and then we'll probably lose against Charlton, and it'll end up being playoffs. And playoffs is a fun way to end the season anyway, but I am getting a little bit excited and daring to dream at the moment. This is the team that we're going to be playing against Arsenal. We've got Matthew Ryan in goal. A back 4 of Amavi, Van Beek, Rodrigo Chow and Silvio, with Hernandez, Cleverley and Hughes in midfield, and Barkley in behind Lukaku and De Jong. It's just about as strong as we get. There could be a shout for having Omar in ahead of Silvio or Valencia in ahead of De Jong, but really they're coin tosses, and that is as good a team as you will find probably anywhere outside the Champions League spots. There you go. I'm going to say it. We're not only the best team in the Championship, we're better than most of the Premier League as well. That midfield in particular, I mean, we've got 2 current England internationals, plus Hernandez and Tom Cleverley. But, you know, he's an England international as well. We've got Lukaku up front. We're a good team. I don't really know how we got relegated or how we've made such a meal of this season. But here we go. So Arsenal, they're going to make the same mistake as United and play a weakened team. I mean, defensively, that looks like that's exactly what they've done. In fact, who's he? Who's Nelson? They're playing a weakened team. We're not. We've got a chance, boys and girls. Let's see if we can take said chance. We're the home team as well. We have far more interest in winning this competition than presumably Arsenal have, because they're still fighting for a Champions League spot, whereas we're hopefully now cruising towards automatic promotion and an instant return to the Premier League. We have to mess it up quite spectacularly from where we are now, I think, with the run of form that we've been on. But of course, a humiliating result against Arsenal, if they absolutely thump us, that'll be just the thing to sort of throw the wheels off of our rather good run of form, and then it all becomes a little bit harder to get promoted as well. So it's a massively important game for us, not so much for them. So hopefully De Jong's going to put us one. Oh, he put Lukaku in brilliantly there, and you would expect him to score, and somehow Mr. Arsenal reserve goalkeeper, whose name I can't even remember, pulls off a wonder save. But Rodrigo Chow is in and does make it 1-0. There's 18 minutes on the clock. It's his 3rd goal of the season. We are 1-0 up now. Let's have a look at it in 3D. Hernandez seems to have picked up a knock as well. I'm not sure if that was part of this move. Does he take the corners? I know he has on occasion. He didn't this time. It's Tom Cleverley whipping the corner in. It's flicked on by Van Beek, and Rodrigo Chow completely unmarked. Give yourself a clap, little fella. We're 1-0 up. Hernandez we need to be worried about. He's a key player in the way we play at the moment, in that box-to-box midfield role. He's incredibly important, and he's an old fella. We don't want to risk breaking him, but at the same time, there's a Wembley spot up for grabs after this match. If we beat this lot, we're in the FA Cup semi-final at Wembley. No one expected a Wembley visit, and goodness me, Romelu Lukaku has put us 2-0 up. That's his 28th goal of the season. Obviously, there's 3 more goals that we all saw that don't really happen, so really, he's on 31, but, Barkley, he just sort of left the ball there, stepped back off it, and there's 3 Arsenal players afraid to touch it. Ross Barkley, a Championship player, has the Arsenal defensive midfielders and centre-backs scared of him, and the result is, at half-time, not only are we 2-0 up, we've had 3 clear-cut chances to their 0. We've been the better team. Can we get Hernandez off? We don't really have. It's going to involve dropping Barkley back into central midfield, which I really don't want to have to do. Certainly any earlier than I have to. Cleverley has been brilliant since we've switched to this system. I know I mocked him a little bit early on, and he's probably not going to be a long-term Premier League solution. But goodness me, is he a good ball-winning midfielder in the Championship. Luke de Jong's just made it 3-0. This is crazy town. We've already beaten Man United 4 games ago. Arsenal are 3rd in the Premier League. They're going to be in the Champions League next year. They've been in the Champions League this year. We're a Championship team who aren't even top of the league, and we are making them look rubbish. I don't understand how it's all suddenly come good, as well as it has. This is ridiculous. This tactic wasn't this good in FM16. It was good, but it wasn't this good. Barkley's in, and would you believe it, it's 4-0, and Ross Barkley has just scored a worldie. I think we can probably take Hernandez off now. Lukaku nods it down, and Barkley just looks up, has a little touch, and there you go. You're just not stopping that keeper, because I'm thumping it past you faster than a really fast thing. Right, let's get Belhanda on for Hernandez, and we'll just drop Ross Barkley back. And we'll make him the roaming playmaker, and Will Hughes can go across to box. And, where are all our central midfielders? Why haven't we got any on the bench? I don't quite get what we've done here. I don't know what. I guess we don't need to make another change. I'm so accustomed to making 2 substitutions at about the 70th minute and another one on the 80th, but we're absolutely destroying Arsenal here. Let's not fiddle with it too much. We'll take Hernandez off because he's picked up a knock. Everyone else is fighting fit and having the game of their lives. So Tom Cleverley again. Look at that, Tom Cleverley. Getting back in the England team. He's everywhere today. He's taking the corners. He's breaking up every Arsenal attack. Goodness me, apart from this one, but luckily they missed. I've never seen Tom Cleverley have a game as good as the one he's having. Say, he's let Alexis run past him here, though. But Will Hughes says, don't worry, Tom. You've done quite a lot today. I'm here to help. Belhanda's made it 5. This guy went on loan to Swansea in the transfer window because he couldn't get in our team. He's had a little bit of a run since he came back. He's still not starting any games. But there you go. It'll just come off the bench and make it 5-0 against Arsenal in the FA Cup quarter-final. I don't understand the world anymore. This is nuts, especially because the media reports pre-game are still talking about maybe being close to the sack because we're not running away with the league. I think this should probably qualify for a bit of a stay of execution. Right, let's get Will Hughes off now, I guess. Cleverly looks shattered, and Marvey looks tired. But we're going to push Rodrigo Chow up into the midfield because we've seen him do this a few times before. Cleverly, there you go. He's not been playing in his actual position. He's a box-to-box midfielder by trade. There you go, Tom. You've earned the opportunity to go and do what you actually enjoy doing. And let's have a standing ovation for Romelu Lukaku. He doesn't need to be on there anymore. There you go. He's tired. We'll bring Valencia on. We don't need our main man anymore. We're 5-0 up with 10 minutes to go. I think we're probably safe here. Oh, Tom Cleverley deserves a goal. Can I make him captain? I'm going to sign him for every team I ever manage for the rest of FM17. He's going to be 1,000 years old playing for some no-mark team that I'm managing the Conference South because I've not been able to get promoted. De Jong, it's 6-0. Everything we touch is becoming a goal today. We've only had the 4 clear-cut chances. We have scored 6 goals against third place in the Premier League, Arsenal. I'm part of me doesn't want to release this video because it just looks silly. This, I acknowledge, this is silly. It's probably worth a like though, isn't it? Let's get this one. Let's have our greatest likes ever, because this has got to be the best result of my time on YouTube. We're a championship team, and we've just done that to Arsenal. That's ridiculous. If we don't end up top of the league by the end of this episode, I don't understand the world anymore. That's amazing. I'll tell you what. This is only winnable, isn't it? These are the 4 teams left in the FA Cup. Southampton, 8th in the Premier League. Probably the best team left in it. Reading, also in the Championship with us, and not as high up as we are. Wolves, also in the Championship with us, and not as high up as we are. There's one Premier League team left in the FA Cup because we keep knocking them out. We could win the FA Cup whilst in the Championship. Let's have a look. I mean, we'll probably get Southampton and get knocked out by them because they'll be looking at this as, oh, we've never had a better opportunity. So it's going to be in the FA Cup semi-final, Southampton versus Wolves, which means Reading versus Everton. We're playing against a Championship team in the FA Cup semi-final. We could very well have an FA Cup final in our future. This is mad. Right, the Charlton game then, and Charlton are second from bottom. We are just plain old boring second, or we were second. We can't go top of the league. I was hoping we'd be able to end the episode by going top of the league. That Derby game must have just happened. But we can end the episode in an automatic promotion spot, which is almost as good. We've made a couple of changes for this match, just to freshen things up a little bit, really. The only injury we've picked up is the one to Hernandez. He's going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks. He's got a twisted knee. He'll be back well in time for the FA Cup semi-final, though, and that's kind of the priority now. I feel like I'd rather win the FA Cup, even if it means not getting promoted. But fingers crossed, we're playing well enough to be able to do both now, hopefully. I presume you've already seen the Arsenal game at this point, so you should probably agree. Other than that, we're bringing Marco in for Hernandez and just shuffling the midfield around a little bit. Hughes goes across to be box to box, and Marco will be the roaming playmaker. Omar comes back in, right back with Silvio moving across to left back, and Amavi dropping down to the bench. And we're going to give Belhanda a start in place of Barkley. Barkley's played pretty much every game since we started this new system, so why not give him a little bit of a rest? Belhanda came on and was excellent. So he deserves a chance. You're all telling me that he should play. So here you go, he's playing, but he has to play at the expense of Ross Barkley because they're basically the same player. But fingers crossed we can continue our incredible run of form and go and absolutely thump Charlton, who are so far down the league we can't even see them because we have to scroll to see them. There you go, look, that's where they are, all the way down there, behind my head probably. Will Hughes has just topped all 6 goals that we scored against Arsenal with something quite incredible, and the ridiculousness continues. So it drops to Marco. Hughes just knocks it. Marco knocks it across to Hughes, and Hughes, on his weak foot, just, he must be 35 yards out, just curls it into the top corner. Keeper doesn't stand a chance. It's another worldie. That's what we do now. Belhanda to De Jong to Hughes, hits the post. Will Hughes is saying, boss, I quite like playing box-to-box midfielder. Hernandez is getting on a bit. I might have this job after he's gone. Marco can stay out there if you like, but this is me staking my claim as box-to-box midfielder. It's proper good fun, innit? I guess that's how Will Hughes talks. Right, Silvio. Cross comes into Lukaku, who is fouled. We have a penalty, and Romelu Lukaku should be on the verge of getting his 30th official goal of the season, I think. So he runs up to the penalty. He usually blasts them into the top corner because he's awesome. Blasted it when it was into the corner. It's only his 29th goal of the season. I forget all the fun. He's clapping himself, but He is clapping as he takes the penalty. That is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. He is running up to take a penalty, clapping his hands above his head because he's that good. He doesn't need to concentrate. Oh, yeah, keeper. By the way, I'm scoring here. I'm already going to clap myself because I know I'm going to score. Look, I've taken the penalty and scored now. Still clapping, though. What a legend. I've not seen that before. I enjoyed that. Right. Oh, I'm giddy. The Arsenal game has got me bouncing around all over the place. Right, De Jong. I mean, it was on its way to Hughes, who was. I mean, he's been outdone by Lukaku now. Lukaku's seen a world-class goal and thought, how can I be the talking point that comes out of this game? I know, novelty penalty. So now someone's got to try and outdo him. What can they come up with? Belhander's in. I mean, he'll just come up with scoring again because he's in the form of his life. I mean, to be fair, I don't know whether he was any good before we signed him. Certainly in the form of his Everton life. De Jong just slots it in for him. Doink, there you go. 3-0. Whenever I play, I score. Who's Ross Barkley? Probably could have sold him, boss. I'm actually thinking perhaps Ross Barkley is our roaming playmaker on the right-hand side of midfield rather than Marco. And we get Belhander in a bit more often. That might work. I'm forward planning. Although, realistically, non-league to legend is on the way. We're probably not going to do another season of Everton. But I'm really, really enjoying it now. Lukaku's just got his 30th of the season. Is this squad that you all said was rubbish when I assembled it? I read the comments. Mean boys. Is this squad good enough for a Champions League finish? No, it's not, obviously. But, what could we do back in the Premier League where I'm presuming we're going to end up now because we're 4-0 up again. We've scored like 25 goals in the last 5 games because that's what we do now. We just score a lot of goals. Tom Cleverley, he's had a bit of a rest. Well, no, he's going to have a bit of a rest. We'll try Barkley on the right-hand side of the midfield. Marco can be the ball-winning midfielder. This might be a solution for us going forward. We'll bring Valencia on for De Jong. In fact, we won't. We'll bring Britt Assombalonga on for De Jong because Valencia always comes on, and Assombalonga hasn't played for ages. And obviously his goal against Man United was wiped out when the world reset itself. So I feel like I owe Assombalonga a goal in the same way as we owe Lukaku some goals. Why don't I put midfielders on the bench? I've got too many fullbacks and stuff down here and defenders. I don't need Williams and Cheju on the bench. I really need to stop letting my assistant manager pick the substitutes. We'll take Omar off and bring Amavi on. And that'll do. We'll swap them 2 over. Get Amavi back on again because he was obviously very good against Arsenal. Don't want him to drift out of his delightful form. Silvio was only supposed to be a backup when we signed him, by the way, and he's played almost every game since we changed to flat back 4. So he was probably quite a good signing as well. There you go. We've scored 10 goals today in this episode. We're in the semi-final of the FA Cup and we're in an automatic promotion spot in the Championship. That, I think you'll find, is value for money and worthy of a like. Let's get over 200 likes on this episode. We don't do it very often. I'd like to do it today because 200 likes for giddiness and clapping while you take penalties. That's what we deserve here. So if you have enjoyed it, make sure you go and pop that like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching.